I have a question now for all three of you. All right. So in your mind, what does like a big company game can do for NFTs if they want to add it into their game? I know there's a lot of backlash between the company and the people that support the game. In your mind, if they do implement NFTs, how would that look, and how would it be acceptable for you for a big company game?
I like this question. I like this question a lot. I personally feel as though it has to go exactly how kind of like CS:GO implemented their NFTs. It has to be strictly aesthetic. There can be no performance enhancers. There can be nothing of that kind of sort. It has to be solely aesthetic, and the reasoning is because for the people who aren't going to purchase into the NFT, it can't be a play to win situation, because you're just going to lose that. And I can tell you right now, just by the way that gaming is nowadays and how they see the NFT space, a lot of people aren't going to buy into it. And that's just, that's just the cream of the crop. There's a lot of people that aren't going to buy into it. And you don't want to lose those fans, There's a lot of, like, for example, even taking away the NFT aspect, with going back to, like, FIFA Ultimate Team and Madden Ultimate Team and stuff like that. When Madden first brought in Ultimate Team, I, gave it a try, and I've noticed that people who spend money on card packs and coins and all that kind of stuff and can purchase these high-level overall players and these cards and stuff like that have the unfair advantage against the people who can't spend the money.
Well, that's the whole point. The company needs to make money.
Well, exactly, but that's what I'm trying to get at.
I have something on that. If you want to implement NFTs into games, I agree with you with the CS:GO outlook. Now, here's where the company can make money without breaking the game. Every transaction, if you sell that NFT or cosmetic,
The company makes money.
They can get a percentage off that, and then that's internally
Yep.
continuously generating money for the company. Obviously, the whole, gamers also hate this, right? We're sick and tired of getting games that are half done, where they sell us on DLC, and then it's like, oh, we put a loot box system in it, so you can buy loot boxes now, which is just like...
Well, what was that?
Well, hold on.
What was
I want to
that
go
game?
back.
Metal Gear Solid 5 came out with literally one mission and then released
Hold
an
up, hold
entire
up.
new game
We gotta
like
go
2
back.
weeks later.
So Cody said about the packs, and Elias was bringing up the packs. So you were talking about them getting basically secondary sales. If we bring it back to FIFA, you buy a pack. They then resell whatever. They translate over to games. If packs were NFTs, the company gets secondary sales. That will never be... I mean, a business model would have to be introduced that makes it where it does make sense and they're making enough money from secondary sales because they're making a ton of money. People are buying packs year after year. When things don't carry over, it's just another year where you can make the same amount of money you made the year before compared to 10% on resale. So I don't know, Elias, what are your, like, is that what you see where the packs are NFTs?
That's a good question, and it's difficult to answer. And I was going to comment on when you guys spoke about the play to, like, you what is it called, pay to
Pay to play, pay to win.
Pay to win, yeah, pay to win. When you can pay and then you get a greater advantage in the game when to other people that can't pay. And it's a difficult thing because the only thing with CS:GO skins, in my opinion, when buying it and like getting a rare skin in CS:GO by opening a case or something like that, the only reason you get excited about opening or getting the skin is because it's worth something on the secondary market, not because of course it looks cool in the game, but it's very based on how much it's worth on the secondary market, because many of the skins look cool but they are not so rare, and because they're expensive you find them way cooler. But on the pay to win side, you get excited because the player is, like on FIFA for example, the player is very good in the game and you can use him in your team. So I'm curious to see if there's can be a mixture of both.
Elias, you just reminded me of something too. opening packs, you make you feel good and stuff like it's a gambling habit, and there were some countries and stuff like that had banned this.
Yeah,
or
because
like,
little kids are
it was
opening up
pre-
packs
there's
and spending
penalties,
their parents'
but yes,
money.
little kids. Do we really want to incorporate NFTs into games, and then you're literally cutting out a younger generation because now
That's
you
a
have
good
to
point.
equip a wallet? Are they getting paid for playing this game now? What if they're buying things?
Well, the whole process is going to get easier. We have to remember, we're a couple years in. If we're looking at the internet, comparing it to like the internet, we're still at the point where you can't even use your telephones when you're on the computer. Like we're even before that. So this is gonna get easier. Right now, the way that NFTs are purchased, it's a little bit complicated. It's gonna get easier. Look at Rare Circles, for example. Like that's a platform that is coming out that is making it very easy. And for those who don't know, they're making it where you could buy with a credit card. It's a very simple process. You don't have to transfer to crypto, all of that stuff. So
my question to you, I'm sorry for interrupting, Nick. Literally, I just want to get this point across. Is literally like you said. My thing is, it could get easier, and it's perfectly agreeable. Now, is there any laws and restrictions against a younger audience, not only gambling because they can't, or purchasing NFTs because that's like investing? Are they allowed to invest, like say stock market something? That's what NFTs technically act like when you buy them and stuff like that. So is that allowed? Or is the younger generation allowed to get into this? What's the age that you can?
This is the thing, though, Cody, is your point exactly. Like the way to combat it back is look at what Fortnite has done. Fortnite makes millions of dollars off of kids buying all of these skins. Why? Just so they can say they have the skin. Yeah. Simple as that. What's the difference between buying an NFT and buying the skin?
And to answer your question, you can't create a wallet unless you're 18 years old. So there is an age limit to it. So kids can't just. And I mean, kids are getting younger where they have computers. iPads,
they're going to access
like
the NFT games and stuff like that, and we get that. It's just one of those things. What is the law around this? How are game developers going to be like project their games? Are they going to have a high rating? Or are we going to see a new game rating for NFT games? Are they you know what I mean?
There's
These
money.
are the questions we got to be asking.
I think there's
money to be made for gamers.
I think it'll be its own genre. You know, like if you go, Cody, those of you PC gamers, if you go onto Steam, they have categories, and it's like shooters, simulation games, racing games. Like there's different categories. I think that it's gonna, if they integrate it right, it's gonna be an NFT genre, and it's all the games pertaining to NFT stuff. And I think that if these games, instead of making them browser games or making them actual like downloadable from the website alone, I think if they try and work their magic into getting onto a bigger platform such as Steam or such as like Epic Games, Origin,
all these,
all those different type of platforms, I think it'll bring NFTs right into the limelight. And that only because there's a lot of time where I'm bored as shit playing. I was playing whatever, and I'm like, I want to look at like a new game to get. And if you just see a new section and like all these new games, I'm gonna browse.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm gonna download, but I'm definitely gonna browse.
Definitely try them out, and I agree with that. Like people will be like, "Oh, yeah, this is just a game. I'm gonna try it out." New streams could pop up, and you see people playing it, and you get involved with it.
Exactly.
I 100% agree with that. My only question now is literally, the big companies have tried. You've seen these headlines that Nintendo is like, hey, they tried diving into the crypto NFT space. Immediately backlash from the community. This brings us to the original point of why gamers hate it, because the communities hate it, and everyone's just listening to their friends. They're not informing themselves, or they're not trying it out themselves. And any company that goes this is like a political suicide, where it's like, hey, now our stocks are dropping because everyone hates it. They're gonna go against this, and then they back out.
Cancel culture.
See, one of the first games that integrated it was the game. I believe it was one of the Tom Clancy games with EA.
But they did it horribly. And
Exactly.
EA.
Well, that's the thing. So that's one of the first games that integrated NFT. One of the first big games that integrated NFTs. And the way that they did it was the same way that they did with what was the other game that you stated, Cody? Like Battlefront or something?
EA did it because it's EA as well. Battlefront 2.
Same issue was these guns and these, whatever it may be, was overpowered than the regular ones, and that was like the first kind of like experience in gaming, and gamers immediately were like, absolutely not.